What's going on, everybody? Marvel's 6-issue miniseries, Avengers, X-Men Eternals Judgment Day, or Axe Judgment Day for short, has finally kicked off, and today we're going to take a look at the beginning of this epic event with issue 1. However, if you're not sure what's going on or what led up to the Judgment Day event in the Marvel Universe, we've got you covered with our complete guide to Judgment Day episode right here. Also, if you dig the content Variant is offering up every week, hit the like button and please share and comment on the episode, as that really is the best way to help us with YouTube's algorithm. But now, let's dive into Judgment Day issue 1. Judgment Day issue 1 starts off in New York with Tony Stark and Cersei of the Eternals having a drink at some bougie balcony restaurant. Tony says, "So let's cut to the chase and save everyone a lot of time, Cersei. Why are we going to be fighting within a day or two?" She replies, "Frankly, I'd be much more likely to pick a fight with the mutants. They are such plagiarists. Returning to life is our thing." Tony responds, "Yeah, you're not going to make this easy." And she replies, "I've never been easy, Tony. At least not in this." And before she can finish her sentence, the Phoenix comes flying in, grabbing her by the head and bringing her into space, knocking her unconscious. We then see Thor and Captain Marvel there to help take Cersei in, but back at the treehouse in New York, we see Cyclops talking to Jean Grey and humans protesting against the mutants not sharing their immortality. Jean feels partially guilty that they can't help the humans, but Cyclops reminds her that it's just practicality. He tells her that the Five can't bring everyone back even if they wanted to, and most of all, it's not as if everyone stopped killing mutants. We're then taken to Krakoa, which has a current population of 200,000, and Destiny is talking with Mystique and Nightcrawler about the war in her vision. She's explaining that there will always be a war, but that the details are elusive. She then gets another vision and says, "The Eternals. The Eternals will try to kill us all." So Destiny and Mystique rush to get the Quiet Council, while Nightcrawler uses a Krakoan portal to warn the Iraqi on Mars. In Arakko, with a current population of 1 million, Nightcrawler finds Magneto, Storm, and Cable and tells them about the coming war with the Eternals. Magneto tells Nightcrawler to bring Arakko's perspective to Krakoa, and that he'll bring it to the Great Ring. And Nightcrawler says, "They can't die, and we can't die. This isn't good. And why do the Eternals have a problem with us?" Magneto responds, "Eternals. Did you think that the powers that be would surrender the beaches of Forever without a fight? We are the world's new gods. The time of the old ones is over." Now taken to Avengers Mountain, Iron Man and his fellow Avengers have restrained Cersei in a psychic dead room deep in the mountain. And as she wakes up, Tony explains where they are and that he thinks she's messed with his head. After some banter, she essentially tells him to get to the point, and Tony reminds her of when the Eternals snuck into Avengers Mountain and only explained that they had to keep Thanos from destroying the world when their plan failed. She answers, "I regret that," but Tony continues, "You say regret, you don't say it was a mistake. It's not even an apology." Cersei responds, "Yes, as there are things that only Eternals can know." So Tony asks, "Things that only Eternals can know? Is this another doomsday you've chosen to hide? Tell me." But she refuses, and Captain America walks in saying, "Cersei was an Avenger. We have to show her some trust." Captain America then tells Cersei that the Eternals are going to war, and Cersei realizes how serious the situation is. Iron Man then explains that since they hid Thanos, he's been watching Eternals activity, and he got a huge spike in the Pacific Ocean last week, and in the last day, low-level pulses have popped up around the world. So Cersei tells them, "Whatever it is, I'm not part of it. We Eternals are not a team. The Eternals are a society that my friends and I have left." Next, we're brought to Olympia, the Eternals' capital, 1 hour earlier. There we see Druig, the Prime Eternal, is giving a speech to the Unimind Council, explaining that their third principle is to correct excess deviation, but they missed the mutants. And now the mutants have colonized Mars and become immortal. He then finishes by saying, "Let me bring fire and death to those whom it's our eternal duty to correct," and the Unimind gives its unanimous approval. Afterward, Druig goes to the Exclusion, the Eternals' prison, where Druig tells all this to the imprisoned Uranos, Thanos' great uncle. Druig explains that he's gonna let Uranos out for 1 hour to destroy the mutants on Mars, and the machine has coded him to return right after. So Uranos gloats, "These mutants made Mars habitable in a day, but to destroy is always easier. You will see what Uranos the Undying can do with an hour." We later see Druig chatting with Moira McTaggart, who is now part of Orcus and is getting ready to betray the mutants for casting her out of Krakoa. Meanwhile, the Quiet Council of Krakoa are discussing how to proceed with the coming war with the Eternals when Hope and Professor X get hit with a mental assault. In narration, Druig explains to Moira, "We are a psychic species, but they have some of the greatest minds on the planet. We can't face them individually. Thankfully, we need not do so. Half our committed forces combined into the almighty Unimind should be sufficient. The telepaths on the Quiet Council will defend themselves and protect their peers. Psychic warfare above the island, invisible to the world. Magnificent, if you have the eyes to see it." As we see imagery of the Eternals Unimind battling the mutant psychics of Krakoa, marking the start of the Eternals Mutant War. We also see more Eternals drop to Krakoa in old Eternals armor, armor, attacking to cause mass confusion on the mutant population. Moira mentions, on Mars there are the Iraqi, over 1 million mutants from a war-torn existence, hardened by centuries of siege. And there's gates from there to here. But Druig responds, I disagree on all counts. 1, not mutants, deviants. 2, there'll be a lot less than 1 million by now, as we see the Great Ring on Mars get vaporized. Druig's plan then continues to unfold while he's narrating. Their immortality stems from 5 mutants working together. Hope and her 4 friends. Time to break up the band. Without this mutant circuit, Krakoa falls. We've created the chaos, and now our finest assassin picks them off. And then, with the Quiet Council all safely locked down in a telepathic stupor, no more hope. We then see that their assassin, Jack of Knives, has already killed Egg, and before they can kill Hope, Wolverine jumps in front, taking the attack himself. And I gotta say, it's pretty gnarly. Moira criticizes Druig for his assassin failing, but he just responds, patience, Moira. Eternals are eternal. If nothing else, we will win by erosion. Then back on Krakoa, the 4 left of the 5 use leftover eggs to resurrect Egg and Cable as Nightcrawler suddenly teleports in. They asked him what happened, and on Mars we see Uranos has completely wrecked shop, having scorched the entire mutant population on Mars and returned to exclusion to report back to Druig. Druig then goes on to use Eternals technology to talk to humanity through their smart devices, explaining that the Eternals are there to serve and protect humanity. He also tells them that the mutants are a threat, having overstepped natural bounds, clearly aiming for complete domination. He then asks that anyone on the West Coast move inland as giant Eternal warriors emerge from the ocean to attack Krakoa. Back at Avengers Mountain, Captain America yells, Avengers assemble! But Tony's alarm goes off, which is a new feature installed as a precaution after the last time the Eternals snuck into the mountain. He tells the others to go on while he investigates, and we see it's Ajax and Makari sneaking in with Mr. Sinister as a prisoner. Ajax explains, we see 2 possibilities. We Eternals cannot be defeated as long as the world exists. They will keep on coming. Eventually, all that lives will be rendered nothing but dust. This is a holy war born of holy scripture. A god can rewrite the scripture and end the war. We simply have to build a god. Help us build our god. Iron Man replies, this plan is pure hubris, but speaking broadly, I'm pro-hubris. But how on earth do you think we're gonna make a god in a few hours? And Ajax answers, look around you, Mr. Stark of the Avengers. We have everything we need, giving us a full-page shot of the Avengers Mountain, which is the dead husk of the celestial progenitor. And with that, the issue comes to a close. And I have to say, guys, this series is off to a pretty good start. That cliffhanger of Ajax helping the Avengers bring the Celestial back in order to rewrite the protocols of the Eternals is really solid. So as of right now, I'm pretty interested to see where this series goes, as it could add quite a bit to the Marvel Universe. But what do you guys think about the opening issue to the Judgment Day event? Let us know down in the comments. And that does it for today, but if you like this video, I recommend this one next. Otherwise, we'll see you next time when we talk about all things comics.